Good morning, friends. So, welcome all of you. We have started basic English grammars from parts of speech. So, last video we have get an information about parts of speech, verb and its types. So, now we just get an information about the next part of speech. Now we start to the parts of speech, pronoun, and before that, friends, you must be see or listen my video carefully and subscribe. Those who have subscribed, please likes and ring the bells. Now start to the next part of speech and its types, pronoun. Now student, the next part of speech is pronoun. So we have get an information about the pronouns. First of all, definition is pronouns which is used, or a word which use instead of or replace, this word is most important, or instead of in the sentence is called pronoun. That's why with the help of the pronouns we can avoid the repetitions, the same nouns over and over. That's why the clear definition is words which use instead of noun is called pronouns. So see the example of, and then we come to know about the pronouns. So Jeremy run so fast. So here is the Jeremy is the subject, run is the verb, main verbs. You did things, his life was on the line. So in this sentence, so this is the name of the girl, which is instead of we use these words his. That's why it is the pronouns. So we avoid the names, nouns again and again. That's why it is very easy to use the pronouns. So there are types of pronouns. Let's see one by one. First one is personal pronoun, possessive pronoun, indefinite pronoun, relative pronoun, intensive pronoun, demonstrative pronouns, interrogative pronouns, and reflective pronouns. Dear student, we get each one's information and explain the examples. Now see the types of pronouns. The first one is personal pronouns. Personal pronouns are used as a substitute for a person's name. So there are two kinds of personal pronouns. One is plays as a role of subjective pronouns, and second plays the role of objective pronouns. So these personal pronouns act as a subject of the sentence, means the subject which comes or take the first place in the sentence, or object of the sentence. So these types of rule plays the pronoun in the sentence. Now see the subject of pronouns. Here is the subject of pronouns. First one is I, we. So these lines indicate as the singular subjective pronouns, and these are the plural subjective pronouns. So I, we, you, he, she, it, they. So here is the I is the first person, you is the second person, he, she, it is the third person. So now see the examples of subject of the sentence. Now see the first example. They went to the store. Now it is very easy. It indicates the subject in the sentence. That's why they is the subjective pronouns in this sentence. Now second, I don't want to leave. So here I is indicated as the subject pronoun in this sentence, or subject of the sentence. Now he runs a great shop in town. So he is also subject of the sentence. Now the object of the sentence. So which are the object of the sentence? We see the object of the sentence are like me, you, her, him, it, us, and them. So these are the object of the sentence. So we use this as a object in the sentence. So now see the example of the object of the sentence like this. Please don't sit beside me. So in this sentence, the me, this word indicate as the object of the sentence. Now the second one is go talk to her. Her indicate as the object of the sentence. So these words place as the or play the role of object in the sentence. Now the third example is don't look at them. So this is the sentence and these words used as the object of the sentence. Now see the second types of pronoun is possessive pronouns. Now the possessive pronouns shows the ownership or possession of a noun in the sentence. So we can see which are the possession pronouns like this: my, our, your, her, his, her, its. Now please dear student, here you note down the one important notes is like they don't use the apostrophe here like this. Its don't use like this. We can write down the simple its and there. So these are the possessive pronouns. So how to use the possessive pronouns? We can see the example. Now the example of possessive pronouns are like this. Is that my book? In this sentence, possessive pronouns is my. So we use here my is a indicate as a possessive pronoun. Is that my book? No, that's his book. So here his indicate as the possessive pronouns. Now the second types of pronouns is independent possessive pronouns. Now the independent possessive pronouns refers to a particular name or understood noun. So these types of pronoun stand alone and aren't followed by any other noun. So these types of pronouns never followed by any other nouns. So independent possessive pronouns like this: mine, ours, yours, is, hers, its, their. These are the independent possessive pronouns. So the example of independent possessive pronouns is that's mine. So this is the example. So we can find out the independent possessive pronoun. Mine is the independent possessive pronoun. That's mine. The second sentence wrong. It's yours. So yours is independent possessive pronouns. So the next types of pronouns is indefinite pronouns. So indefinite pronouns don't point to a particular nouns. These types of doesn't point to a particular pronouns. We use them when an object doesn't need to be a particular identifier. That time we use indefinite pronouns. Now see the example of possessive pronouns. For example, is that my book? In this sentence, my indicate as a possessive pronouns. Now the second example, no, that his book. So here his indicate as a possessive pronoun. Now the second types of pronoun is independent possessive pronouns. So independent possessive pronouns refers to a previously named or understood the noun. So we can, if you want to understood the noun, so we can use the independent possessive pronouns. So independent pronouns, they stand alone in the sentence, and these types of independent possessive pronouns aren't followed by any other noun. So this is the most important rules we must be pay attention in your mind or keep in your mind. Now these are the independent possessive pronouns like mine, yours, ours, yours, his, hers, it, their. Now the example is that's mine. So in this sentence, mine is indicated as a independent possessive pronouns. The second example, wrong. It, yours, ours. Now ours indicate as a independent possessive pronoun. Now the next types of pronoun is indefinite pronouns. So indefinite pronouns doesn't point to a particular nouns. So it is one of the important words. Point to a particular, don't point to a particular nouns. And when the indefinite pronouns use them when an object doesn't need to be specially identified. That time we use indefinite pronouns. So which are the indefinite pronouns? Let's see the list of indefinite pronouns like this: few, everyone, all, some, anything, nobody. So these are the indefinite pronouns. Now see the example of indefinite pronouns like most wealth is held by a select few. So here few indicate as a indefinite pronouns. Now the next example is everyone is here already. Now here is the everyone is the indefinite pronouns. Now next example is his nobody. Nobody indicate as the indefinite pronouns in this sentence. Now see the information about relative pronouns. So relative pronouns used to connect the clause and phrases to noun or pronouns. So these types of relative pronouns, they connect the noun and pronoun in the sentence. The next one is we can also use them to add more information. So if you want to add something new information, that time we use relative pronouns. So relative pronouns are like this: who, whom, which, whoever, whomever, whichever, and that. This is the list of relative pronouns. Now see the example and identify the relative pronouns. With the help of the list, we can easily identify. The driver who ran the stop sign was careless. Now the here is the who indicate as the relative pronouns. So here indicate it join or connect two sentence or two nouns. That's why here is the who indicate as the relative pronouns. Now the second one is take whichever ones you want. So now dear student, when you buy something in the shop, this type of conversation it's happened in the shop. Now take whichever ones you want, whichever you select the different types of piece. That time you can the shopkeepers show you the different types of piece and then you can select one of them. So take whichever ones you want, whichever indicate as a relative pronouns. Now no, not that one. So we say sometimes not no that ones I like different. So that indicate as the relative pronouns. Now the next types of pronoun is intensive pronoun. So intensive, it's emphasize or intensity or nouns or pronouns. So we find them right after the nouns. They are intensified. They intensify something in the sentence. So it is very easy. The pronouns typically ends with self or selves. That's why we can easily identify the intensive pronouns in the sentence. The list of intensive pronouns like myself, himself, herself, themselves, itself. Themselves indicate the plural form. Itself, yourself, yourself, yourselves. This is also plural form indicate, and ourself. This also indicate as the plural forms. So example is I myself like to travel. So I is the name or subject. It's come after the noun. That's why, or pronoun indicate as the pronoun. I indicate as the pronoun or subject in this sentence. So it comes after. So it is the intensive pronoun. Now the second one is he also plays the role of subject or pronoun in this sentence. So it comes after he himself, I myself, he himself, his worst critics. So these types of examples, or with the help of these types of example, we can easily identify the intensive pronouns in the sentence. Now, the next types of pronoun is demonstrative pronouns. So the demonstrative pronouns are takes place take place of a noun that already mentioned in the sentence. So these types of pronouns, they can be a singular or plural form indicate in the sentence. So the list of the demonstrative pronouns like this, these, those, these, that, and such, they are the demonstrative pronouns. Now the example of the demonstrative pronouns are like this. These are ugly. So in this sentence, these indicate as a demonstrative pronouns in this sentence, which take place the role of noun or subject. Now those are lovely. Those indicate as a noun or subject in this sentence, or this is the demonstrative pronouns. Now the next types of pronouns is interrogative pronouns. So interrogative pronouns like don't just what they say, do just what they say, and these types of pronouns work in a sentence that are posing a question. So these are types of pronouns we can use for to ask the questions in the sentence. And the list of the interrogative sentence is who, whom, what, which, what, whoever, whichever, and whatever. This is the list of interrogative pronouns. Now, the example of interrogative pronouns is who is going to arrive first. So, in this sentence, this is the now, dear student, please attention here. Who is going to the who is going to arrive first? Now here, who is indicated as the interrogative pronouns, but in these types of words we ask as a question or to frame the question of the sentence. That's why we give the here the question mark you must be put. Now second one is whatever do you mean? So whatever indicate as the interrogative pronouns, what do you mean? Then give the full mark sign or symbol. Which of these do you like better? So which is indicate as the interrogative pronouns, and it is necessary to give the last question marks. Without question marks there is no proper sentence. That's why give the proper question marks when the sentence start with the interrogative pronouns. Now the last types of pronoun is reflexive pronoun. So reflexive pronoun is similar or it's like to intensive pronoun. It same plays the role of like a intensive pronoun in the sentence. So reflexive pronoun used when the subject and the object of a sentence refers to a same person or thing. That time we use reflexive pronouns, and the reflexive pronoun end in self and selves. So it is very easy, but don't confuse about reflexive and intensive pronouns. You can be understand the difference between intensive and reflexive, so you can be easily identify. So reflexive pronouns are myself, ourself, himself, herself, itself, ourself and yourself. So there are some singular and there are some plural form, indicate plural form. So now the example of reflexive pronoun is I told myself not to spend all my all my money on the new shoes. So in this sentence, I told myself, I use here I, that's why it transform into a myself. I told myself not to spend all my money on the new shoes. So myself indicate as the reflexive pronoun. We gave ourselves plenty of extra time. So here we is transform into ourselves. Ourself indicate as the reflexive pronouns. Now here is the indicate, we is the indicate as the plural form. That's why we use here. It transform into ourselves. Here indicate next sentence, they bought themselves a new car. Now they, it transform into themselves. So it is the reflexive pronoun in this sentence. So so dear student, we get an information about noun and its kinds. So with the help of these types of sentence or definitions, so we can make meaningful or proper sentence, and we can easily speak English language. So it's very easy and funny English language to speak. That's why we have start the this videos. So please like and subscribe my YouTube channels. So thank you all of you.